Hello friends, welcome back to my channel X Gene and Protein X. In this tutorial video, I'll discuss about the Dpn1 restriction enzyme. So first you have to know that what is Dpn1 restriction enzyme. So Dpn1 restriction enzyme is the type 2 restriction enzyme. There are three kinds of restriction enzyme, that is the type 1, type 2 and type 3 restriction enzyme. So Dpn1 is the type 2 and it cleaves only if there is any DNA containing methylated adenine. So there are different kind of restriction enzyme that recognize some specific sequence. So for the Dpn1, it recognizes GATC, this specific sequence. So it can recognize by the Dpn1, and it cleaves by the Dpn1 if it methylated adenine it contain. So if it means like if the adenine is attached with the methyl group. So basically Dpn1 does not cleave any unmethylated DNA. So if there is no methyl structure present, then Dpn1 cannot cleave this structure, this sequence. So now we need to know that when we should use Dpn1 restriction enzyme. So there are different kind of process, like if you perform this kind of process, so you must use Dpn1 restriction enzyme. So what kind of process these are? So these are the site directed mutagenesis, like any point mutation if you make, or any kind of mutation, or any kind of addition, deletion or substitution mutation if you perform, then you must use Dpn1 restriction enzyme. So why? Because you know very well that in your PCR product contain the mixture of your parent strand and your amplified product. So this is a mixture. So basically in the PCR product contain very low concentration of your parent strand. However, it present there. So you have to get rid of this parent strand by the Dpn1, and then you will get your very pure amplified product. So now I'll tell you that how it works. So this is actually the schematic diagram, and this is one of the example. For example, that this is a PCR reaction. This is a reaction mixture that you would like to make mutation. So you see here there are mutation you would like to make here. So this is the red cross, it indicating the mutation. So when you amplify this product, so you'll get the amplified product. So this is your amplified product, and as well as you will get your parent strand in your PCR product. So this parent strand contain no desired nutrition. So you have to get rid of this kind of parent strand, otherwise it will be mixture of this PCR product and it influence your experiment. So for that reason you have to use Dpn1 to digest this strand, and then you will get this kind of amplified strand, amplified sequence. So for example, if I want to exemplify that this is your parent strand, and this parent strand contains this kind of sequence, and you want to make mutation in this part, that is should be T and it's A. So this kind of mutation you want to make, right? So this is your parent strand, and this is your mutation you want to make it. So now you see here the parent strand contain, this is the parent strand, and this parent strand belongs to this, so it contain G, and the amplified product that you get that contain this kind of mutation. So basically if you won't digest it, then you will get this kind of both mixture. So for that reason you have to digest your parent strand by the Dpn1, then you will get rid of this kind of parent strand. Alright, let me delete this part. So now I'll show you that entire protocol, the entire protocol of this Dpn1 restriction enzyme, how to use this kind of restriction enzyme. So this is the very general protocol that normally people use. So this is the Dpn1 1 microliter, 10x buffer 2 microliter, and PCR product you have to use accordingly, that how much you would like to, how much volume you'd like to use. So normally the PCR product you have to, if it is like 50 microliter, then from here you can directly use 17 microliter and Dpn1 1 microliter and 2 microliter 10x buffer. But you have to remember that you have to use the buffer, because it stabilizes the Dpn1 function. Otherwise, if you won't use the buffer, then Dpn1 cannot stabilize, and then it won't function properly. And also another thing is that the buffer, it varies in different company. So in some cases they provide 10x buffer, some cases they provide 5x buffer, so you have to go through the protocol accordingly. So so after that you have to make the digestion, and the digestion temperature is 37-degree temperature for 1 hour. And I recommend you to use the PCR machine to maintain this temperature for 1 hour. And after digestion you have to make the heat inactivation. And heat inactivation, this is the 80 degrees centigrade for 20 minutes, and you have to incorporate this parameter in your PCR system, in the PCR machine, and then in the same process you will get the inactivation. So after inactivation, in your digested PCR product contain no Dpn1, then you can directly use this digested PCR product for your transformation, and then you can do the rest of the process. So this is how it works, and I hope this video will be helpful. And if you follow this process, I hope that you can make it independently. So thanks guys. If you like this video, kindly hit the like button, share it, and subscribe my channel. Thanks.